Howdy. I think I've made this video like 3 times, and I've already deleted it off my channel once. But the focus of today's video is Smite and Smite 2. If you've gone over to the Twitch recently, which I do stream now, not only just Smite 2 and Marvel Rivals, I've been on a journey of competitive, ranked. Fantastic, great, wouldn't you think? Except for the fact that Smite 2 is in such a weird, bad spot. And I wouldn't even say bad, you know? Mechanically, the game feels kind of good. There are a whole, smorgasbord of glitches to get through. Some people have whole glitches where their abilities won't level up in the middle of games. Some people have audio bugs that cancel the audio mid-game. Some people know how to blink twice. It's, at a whole, just not in a good state. And I've talked about this before, the responsibility of the gamer and the responsibility of the developer. And I just wanted to go over it again. Especially in Smite 2 standards. I've been playing for over a month now. And honestly, it's kind of sad to say, but it is easier and nicer to level up, to rank in Marvel Rivals and get positive reactions than it is in Smite 2. I mean, I have so much more history with Smite 2, and people have so much more history with Smite in general. But let me explain. The first, even just getting to gold, is the hardest thing you will ever do. It's harder to do in Smite 2 than it ever was to do in Smite 1, although I haven't done Smite 1 in years. But Smite 2 is just littered with angry individuals, especially in the lower ranks, who would rather just leave games at the first sign of trouble or int down a lane and die repeatedly and then come at you with the hot mic than play out a game, no matter what. Backseat driving in Smite 2 is crazy. And you would think it'd be more in Marvel Rivals, but it isn't. I've been running this little pseudo experiment and over on the Rivals game just to see if it will work. Spread positivity. Start every game with I can tank, I can heal, but all I won't do is complain about it. Because those are the two roles that people complain carry the game, or like ruin the game. I wouldn't say carry, ruin the game both. If you have a bad healer and a bad tank, let me play it. Let me pocket rocket and never touch my left click for you, because I have done that. These people will just leave you as a solo healer. Or play Emma Frost, play Magneto, play whatever. I play whatever you need. And you know what? More times than not, I'll get a DPS run in every couple matches, you know, get my little Namor Human Torch, you know what I mean? In Smite, there is no camaraderie, barely any. You can say good luck, have fun in the beginning, and that's it. Now bear in mind, I have had toxicity in Rivals, but it was while we were winning. It was just a character who couldn't handle being the second MVP on our team, and all of us were like, dude, you're fine, you're crashing out for what? And then smurfing was brought up. But that's a whole nother thing. Getting out of just clay, bronze, silver, and gold in Smite, I have ran into leavers, actual bots, and I mean that, just bots that just tag alongside another player and only one of them is home at the same time. And then you get into gold and it's people who tell you, oh, I have a smurf, oh, I have this. I've only played a match in gold because I just genuinely don't find it fun. I don't find the arguments fun. I don't find the fact that the first time somebody dies, somebody says you rock cancel that fun anymore. We're all kissing our 30s on the lips. You know what I mean? I don't know how to say this, but like we are responsible for this community, making it or breaking it. And in the rank scene, it's just, you have to hard grind it by yourself or find a friend to do it with you and pray that the vibes are good. And you can't force the good vibes. That being said, like I said, I think the game it feels mechanically good. It feels like everything that a Smite 2 should be is there. The mechanics, the map feels good to run around. There's too much going on that map for my little jungle brain to comprehend, but we're getting through it. But besides that, the community is just, you know? And it's not even just the community. If you've been in the Smite drama scene recently, which it's really hard not to if you've just been watching videos of Smite players, apparently at the topmost level, our representation is somebody who's Q dodging at night, as well as somebody who abuses a blink bug that allows you to double blink, which, thanks for showcasing that. Bet you that's gonna get fixed real quick. High res. But fundamentally, I think I like where the game is going. It doesn't need to change anything. I always thought the third-party perspective was enough. Third-person muffle. I always thought that they just needed to get rid of the spaghetti code that was Smite 1. It was getting too complicated, too much going on, too much game breaking, and maybe this was it. But the more that comes out, the more that actual breaking happens in the game. And that's where Hi-Rez is responsible. I've said this before, and I've said this in a couple other chats while yip-yapping to other streamers, very incognito likely. We owe it to the developers to support their game. It's free to play. By just being positive and doing our... I wouldn't even just say being positive. You can just mute yourself. Mute everybody. Who cares? Grab some friends, mute. If you really want to talk and be toxic, then go into the casual stuff and do some crazy nonsense. But it's our job as a community to take something in its beta, and its alpha, and its infancy, and give it its best shot at living by putting our best foot forward as human beings, by treating other people who are also trying to explore the game, which again, could be anybody at this point. We want to draw people into this mix. And just showing sportsmanlike conduct. There are people who are probably coming back to this game who have years worth of experience. Who have years of love for this title. And it is our job to entice them to stay. And if you don't want to entice them to stay, then why are you here? On the flip side, Hi-Rez has a responsibility to produce a game, to give us a game that does not feel unbalanced, that does not feel broken, and makes less moments to where we feel so angry that we have to blame somebody other than ourselves. Because that does happen. I will say, when the audio glitch hits and I don't hear the Loki coming behind me and I just get boop right on the back of my head, it sucks. I want to rage. It is a busted game sometimes. Sometimes a Q doesn't even work, right? It is their responsibility to create games and interactions in the game that don't feel so one-sided, that don't feel so broken, that don't feel out of our control. Because that's what creates rage. We can innovate all we want. We can add aspects all we want. We can take these characters and make them into other things that they're not with these aspects all we want. But there needs to be a balance to it. And we're getting to the point where the community is dwindling. And although more gods are coming out, every time there's a new god, there's something new to be mad about. But that's just how the development of the game goes. It's just for Smite, it's more dire. We're in the process of a transition. Smite 1 still exists, while Smite 2 is trying to thrive. It's hard to maintain them both when very clearly one of them has to go away and this one has to replace it. But there's no clear-cut direction or any clear-cut information of how that is going to happen. I Especially considering all the movement that is happening in the background over at high res, which could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. A lot of people think it's a good thing that the CEO got let go. Maybe it'll take us in a different direction. But at the end of the day, honestly, we're Ouroboros. We're eating ourselves. The snake that goes round and round and round and round and round and eats from the tail, that is what we're doing. It's like a dual-headed snake just eating each other. You know what I mean? We're unwelcoming. A lot of reason for like new players to even stick out a rank grind. Nonetheless, stick out a casual grind. You know what I mean? Without a friend group, without some incentives. Hell, I only did it on a whim. And like I said, I'm having more fun doing ranked over in Rivals, and personally, I've always, I don't like action shooters as much. I always thought that their toxicity levels are absolutely higher. Turns out, I'm wrong. But we don't have a lot going for us. And with, like, cheaters and exploiters and weird fucking tactics to get the top slot happening, there's little incentive for anybody to join in on this, whatever you want to call it. This game. This enigma that is Smite 2 that exists right next to Smite 1. Very little reason. Why bother when you can just go play Rivals? Why bother when you can... Rainbow X just came out, had some fun with that, you know what I mean? Why bother when Overwatch just did the arena mode? Why bother when League and Dota still exist? HOT still exists, right? There needs to be a change, and it needs to be a change in the mindset of not only the players who play it and sit there hot micing or very quick to VEX, that this is not an established game anymore. This is a game that is Smite 1, that had all these great, beautiful moments over the last however many years, 10 plus years that it's been out, is dying. And Smite 2 is trying to grab the torch that is being passed on to it, but there's no hand. There's no hand. There's no passing off. There's no nothing. And that needs to change. Obviously, it's more than what my humble self can do. And I think it's more than a lot of us can do alone. But I know there's other people who have been talking about it. I know that Weekend's been talking about it. I know that other people, Anuki has made a video on it. I know that a lot of people have come lately in the past month to reach out to streamers and say, is the game worth playing? Is it good? And honestly, it is. It can be. If they buckle down, it will be. If they just get rid of those glitches and rein it all back a little bit, it mechanically does feel like a smoother Smite 1. But by the time, by the time that we get our Smite 2, there might be nobody left. There are already so many few streamers out there willing to stream it for a long period of time, and a lot of them will quit halfway through just to go play something else, like Elden Ring Night Rain, Rivals, scary games. And that's not me saying that that's a bad thing. Variety is the spice of life. But we're talking about people who used to only stream Smite hours a day, no longer wanting to support the game that much. So wherever this resurgence is going to come from, that we're all waiting for, when Smite 2 is out of beta, and then suddenly Smite 2 Electric Boogaloo is here for everybody to play, that resurgence is only going to last a couple months. And then again, it'll be up to our community. It'll be up to them to maintain it. And right now, we're proving we can't do either. I've yapped enough for today. I'm hungry. It's the morning. And hopefully I'll see you next time.